Hey folks, so here we are once again, but it's Friday, it's not Tuesday. And it is a normal day on the homestead. Had a post broken down here at the pole barn for the ewes. And what that post does, that was just keeping this corner taut. And off of this hay to keep the fence from shorting out. But, somebody broke it. I don't know if it was the cold and the tension or one of the ewes leaned against it and broke it, but either way, I got to replace it. And I figured before the snow comes, might as well take care of it now. So, we're expecting, not saying we're going to get, but we're expecting, what do they say, 5 to 8 inches, up to 12, depending. Who knows? But once again, we're doing everything as we normally do to make sure that the animals and the peoples are okay for, it could be 2 weeks before we get off the mountain, if we get that much snow. As you've seen in some of our other videos, Amy tried to drive out last year and ended up in a ditch, which we had to tow her out. So things like that happen. But like today, we got thrown a bit of a curveball. So we actually started the day down in one of our cabins, getting it ready for somebody coming in to work in the area to help somebody post-Helene clean up and rebuild. So he's going to be staying with us for like 3 months, I believe. But we had to start there. Amy's still there, but I had to kind of peace out so I could take care of this other stuff. Now, what I'm bringing in, not only am I bringing in for the wood stove that's in the living room, but I'm also preparing to have the wood cook stove going in our kitchen, because I did see that with the winds that they're projecting and the temperatures, that wind chills, I saw one thing said minus 20 in the mountains. Annie, leave the boys alone. So that's real cold. And in our kitchen with the wood stove, if the wood stove isn't lit, it brings in cold air. So my goal would be to have the wood stove going at least warm enough so it's venting out and keeping that part of the kitchen warm and not bringing in cold air. So it's kind of what I'm doing today, as well as bringing other wood and normal Friday stuff. So one of the things that Amy and I often laugh about is firewood and eggs. The question is, how many times can you touch a piece of wood before you actually put it in the fire? I'm actually saving a grab here by, just burning rounds. So, but if you think about it, by the time the tree is felled, your rounds are cut, your rounds are split, stacked, dried, picked up, brought in the house, stacked, to be put in the fire. That's many times. But normally I have been leaving the firewood here just in the wagon, because I didn't want to do another 2 sets of touches, but I actually do want to use that wagon our little gorilla cart wagon, which I love dearly. I want to put the little pieces that I need for the wood cook stove in the kitchen in here. All right, so it's after 3 o'clock. I'm gonna try to focus on the chores a little bit more right now and get that done. Y'all are pretty familiar with our afternoon chores. So right now, Jericho and Claude are still right here by the house. And in the afternoons, all they get is hay, and we top off their water. Now, I did break up their ice again this morning, and right now there is no ice because it's been like 40 degrees today, so it hasn't been bad at all. Fence is already off, and so I'm just going to top this bucket off. Call that good. Now we're going to go over to Phil's group. I do want to move that fence a little bit, reposition it. So bear with me as we get there. What? What? You slipped. I saw that. All right, let me in, Phil. Come on, Joe. Come on. Now this fence here, I do want to reposition. I just want to bring it across a little bit more instead of having it just on the slope. Yes. Now, I don't know if you can see how much hay is actually in this spot right now, but it's quite a bit. So the ground shouldn't be too bad to move the fence. See, that's just another exciting day at the homestead. Just not a lot going on these days, you know. Oh, so one thing I got to start doing. Whew, is alternating arms, because I'm doing this upright row with this bucket, and then I normally pour like this, and all up and through here has been getting so tight. Our friend Amy, not Mama Amy, who does the physical therapy work on me, she's been giving me some more exercises to do. We were actually talking about it today, doing this, being really thoughtful about, how my shoulders are going and how my elbows are going, doing different exercises to help with that. But when she worked on me last Friday, this area right here in my shoulder hurt so bad. She was working out such a knot in it that I'm going to do everything I can to make sure I avoid that happening again, because that was not a pleasant experience. Now, this is the bucket I poured before, so it's a lot lighter. We got to keep enough water in the buckets to make it worth it, but not too heavy so that you're hurting yourself. Now that's, see that? They're eating some green stuff over there and they're happy. That's a good thing. All right, now if you're wondering why I just had you sitting there like that, I was finishing up the chores with the Too Tasty crew, and nothing much there to see. But what you're looking at there in those mountains, that is the snow that is coming this way. That is not fog. So I'm seeing a flake here or there. I'm seeing a flake right there. But anyways, so yeah, the snow is starting just very here and there, but it is in the higher elevations. You can see it working its way across the valley there. So we'll see what happens by the time we're done with chores and as this day progresses. I got to go take care of the ladies now. 4:04. See what the mountains look like now? A little more covered. Getting some more visible white stuff. I don't know if you can see it on the camera or not. Now, I would have liked to have this done already, but it's really not that big of a deal. Still be in the middle of it. You can see I'm still only wearing a hoodie. So the temperature's not bad. All right, well, I'm not going to bore you with me just chopping this wood up. I'm going to turn you back on time lapse so you can see what the snow is doing. Well, it's 4:15. Chores are done. I got my wagon kind of full of logs that I'm going to use in the wood burning cook stove in the kitchen. Plus, I have a lot of wood in there already, so I didn't need much. And it's really an experiment too. So we'll see what happens with the snow. So hold tight and let's see how the evening goes. All right, folks, before it was, like I said, around 4 o'clock. It was still in the 40s, but we were still getting snow over there on the mountain. Now it is about 6 o'clock, and I mean, that 4 o'clock snow was just a little bit, but now at 6 o'clock, we are getting some coverage on our road. And as you can see, the mountains are still having a hard time showing up. They're kind of disappearing over there. So I'm going to wrap this up here. I'm going to get inside, have some dinner, and we'll see what the morning brings. Y'all take care now.